February is Black History Month in Canada. This is the month where Canadians get a chance to learn about African Canadians and African Americans who throughout history have fought for Africans to be treated equal to everyone else. Black History Month, or African History Month, also gives young people of African origins a chance to go back in history and learn about their ancestors. We decided to visit places like the Ontario Bicentenary exhibit, which provide opportunities for young people to find out about African contribution to history. Slavery existed in Canada from 1628 until it was abolished in Upper Canada in 1793 and throughout the entire British Empire in 1833.
In our province of Ontario, which was then called Upper Canada, the practice of slavery was a fact of life. There were enslaved Africans in Ontario. They worked on farms. They worked in the businesses of their owners. They worked in the houses. They worked as domestics. They were bought and sold and traded across international lines. So we recognize that, and that's the story we want to tell for this bicentenary year. The story of slavery in Canada, in Ontario in particular, because that's our province, and it is the province of Ontario that's commemorating the bicentenary. So this exhibit was set up, this site, this center, and here we have a great exhibit that deals with the topic in question, the act to end the British slave trade, and we also look at slavery inside of Canada. Outside on the windows, we also have those great banners which speak to the life and the experience of the enslaved people themselves. We at the center here, at the site at 880 Bay Street, we also bring in artists, performers, lecturers. We're not only dealing with the past, we're also dealing with the present in terms of looking at the legacies of slavery and the slave trade.
One group that is trying to increase awareness of African inventors is the International African Inventors Museum.
It was created by Lady Shabazz, which is the first board on the exhibit, and it was created to highlight and showcase the contributions of African people from ancient Egypt up to today. And the museum exclusively, when it was first launched, was mainly focusing on Egypt and a lot of African American inventors and scientists. But since Mr. Jeffers has acquired it, we have developed a more broader range of inventors that cover people from the diaspora, including African Canadians, Caribbean and European descendants.
There were a lot of African inventors who contributed in many ways to the Canadian economy, but most people do not know who these inventors were.
My favorite Canadian story, I guess, is Elijah McCoy, who at age 15 left Canada to become an engineer. And you're talking about age 15 in the early 1800s, living in Colchester, Ontario, and going to Scotland, becoming an engineer, coming back to Canada, can't get a job, go to Detroit, can't get a job. Eventually found a job working in a stockyard, lubricating engine parts, and realized there's a better way to do this. Before every 6 miles the train would stop and you have to lubricate the engine parts. With his simple device, but a very effective device, the lubricating cup, you had continuous lubrication of the engines, so therefore the train no longer had to stop that frequent. And when you figure that the train was the backbone of the development of Canada, and what the train meant to the development of Canada and the economic benefits at that time to Canada, this was a very noteworthy invention?
Many times as Africans, we don't know how much we have contributed to the economy, to the world, to civilization. Earlier I talked about how Africans changed the New World. Not only in terms of demography, in the sense that because of the slave trade, millions of Africans were brought here and formed new populations that brought different aspects of culture to this part of the world: food, architecture, music, dance, science, agriculture. A lot of people don't know that, how Africans developed this part of the world and also contributed to the world economy.
As we build Canada, it's important that all of us play a role in enhancing and developing this economy for our own family growth and our own community growth. So therefore, what the museum does is break stereotypes that to young people, to make them realize that our history did not just start from slavery, but we go from ancient Egypt to present day, showing the contributions of African people in the areas of science and technology and innovation. And it's a story that's not just for African Canadians, but if we're going to build a good Canada, if we're going to build a stable Canada, we all have to know about each other. We have to be able to not deal with ignorance, but deal with one of empowerment and knowledge of each other. So therefore, our history is everybody else's history, and everybody else's history is our history. So therefore, we need to ensure that this material is in the curriculum so that children learn what is part of the Canadian history. And the Canadian history is inclusive.
Let's go.
They say man was created in the image of the Father and woman made from man. But this confuses me because clearly she could not have been formed by a mold so rough and ungraceful. See, she hails from a divine essence not held to form, but experienced through feeling. A feeling she spreads unconsciously, allowing all those around to be blessed by the experience and changed. Her power comes from imagination. See, long ago she was told that the world is cold and there's no room for love.
Dictate how I be, who I be, where I walk, talk, sway the movement of my hips as they sway and lock. I catapult the box you try press upon me. See me as me. I aspire and grow faster than chia pets on your windowsill. The bumps in my hand, lines across my palms, tell stories I couldn't dream of even if I dared.
United I stand, united I stand. I am more than a solitary black woman. My ancestors, them bloodshed all over this land. I feel them strength me stand pan, united I stand. Every day of the year is for white history. Shortest month of the year is for black history. Yes, February, that is all them do we. So no matter even when it's not February, every day we are going to celebrate for history. History books say we don't make no contribution, but without black people, that mean a confusion. Imagine life without talik for sit down pan, and when your clothes show that you have to wash it with your hand. United I stand, united I stand. I am more than a solitary black woman. My ancestors, them bloodshed all over this land. I feel them strength me stand upon, united I stand.
was brought to you by the Regent Park Focused Youth Media Arts Center.